Absolutely, sir. What's not a laughing matter right now is what we're talking about. We're talking about personal finance. In fact, the question that we're asking is your thinking keeping you poor? And this is the title of the book by professional business author and speaker Douglas Kruger, who joins us to tell us more about his book and also share some insights. And earlier on in our conversation, he said that saving is not the way of getting yourself to be wealthier. Am I saying it correctly?
Absolutely, and it sounds like a controversial thing to say.
It is, because we've got National Savings Month in South Africa, and we're encouraging young people to save. So how on earth could you say something like that?
Okay, so the key to this one is that saving is what I call a yes, but. And there are a couple of yes buts when it comes to wealth creation. And really, I think we need to get the full picture. We're giving people very simple and even simplistic answers that are not necessarily all the info they need.
Give us the picture. We want the picture, Douglas.
Two quick examples. Saving. It's a yes, but. We should save, but wealthy people don't become rich by saving. In almost all cases, when you study self-made millionaires, they have become wealthy in one radical act of money generation, and then they save after the fact. There's a wonderful quote by one of the authors on wealth who says, saving is wheelchair wealth. It will work by the time you're 60 or 70.
Oh, wow.
It's a good idea, but it will not in and of itself make you rich. The second good example of that one is education. It does lift people out of poverty, but a formal tertiary education in and of itself will not make you rich. It's the soft skills that tend to do that. That's the leadership skills, networking, negotiation. The interesting thing about that is that those are pull skills. They are not taught to you by a teacher. That's the kind of thing we seek out. And it means that you have to be the kind of person who is always looking for a bit of leverage and a bit of advantage. The great part about that, though, is it means that if you don't have a high school education, you can still become wealthy. In fact, many tycoons have.
And how exactly do you begin that if saving is not the basis of it all?
Well, it's about raising the value of the thing that you do. And one of the ideas that I discuss in the book is I say the problem is equating the number of hours you work to the amount of wealth that you earn. That's actually a trap. When we're taught to work for a set number of hours for a set number of coins, it actually leads us in the wrong direction. When you can raise the value of what you do within an hour, you're actually going in the right direction. You can't increase your hours, but you can increase your value.
The value.
So that's down to things like, how do you raise your value as a human being? And if you can't get a matric education, you can still do something like, say, joining a Toastmasters public speaking club and learn how to present yourself well, how to dress well, how to be a leader. And it's those skills that tend to make more of a difference when you study the lives of wealthy people.
One of the lines that kind of knocked me back when I read it first up in your book, you say that being rich isn't normal.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the very word itself means that there is something unusual. You are above and beyond the rest of the people around you. Now, our stats in South Africa in terms of poverty and people who are living below the breadline are honestly depressing. And we really do need to do something about that. But the key to that one, in terms of thinking, is that the answers for coming out of that level of suffering and difficulty are not to be found where those people are living. I'll give you a horrible example of this one. If I had to take a billionaire and transplant him into your life, do you think he could get back to where he was, knowing what he knows?
Of course.
And I would say the answer is yes. Yeah. The thing is, he knows something or she knows something that we don't at our level. Now, the same applies for people living in poverty. They know that they are living in the scenario, but they don't know what the answers are for getting out. And I think we need to be teaching that at schools, teaching that in our families.
Or we'll be unlocking some of that wealth knowledge locked up in Douglas's mind in a short while. So stay tuned for that and more. There's, in fact, lots coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show.